Hello everyone, Laura K. Buzz here, and we are finally back watching the final episode of the Wandering Sun anime series, episode 12. I've been I've been putting off recording this final episode. This is the day that I had planned to record it, but a few hours later than I had planned. I don't remember any of the specifics from my first watch around 15 plus years ago of how this episode is going to go, but I'm pretty sure it's going to end with the school play happening and us not really getting to see any of the play. And I seem to remember it ends in such a way that I had to go read the Wikipedia summary of the of how the manga continued because I had some kind of lack of closure about the ultimate fate of Nitori, and I want to make sure I get some closure on that. At some point, we will address the manga, but for today, we're going to watch this. We're going to read a little Wikipedia summary of where things continue, and I'm nervous, but this has been a journey, and we're gonna stick it through to the end. So let's jump in. You looked so good with longer hair. It was making me feel too warm, and they say it's going to be a really hot summer. Yeah, I feel. I've been reading some of the comments. I've been avoiding reading too many of the comments on the videos as I've been putting them up because I didn't want people who have watched this recently enough to have full context leading my interpretation on this first watch through. But before this finale, I read some of the comments on past episodes, and it really does feel like the anime is leaning into, oh, Takatsuki was never trans, it was never a thing, in a way that, like, apparently the manga never does. Like, this is very much an invention of the anime, which feels like such a weird fucking choice to have made. Like, there's no lead up to this. There's nothing that... Like, I agree. There's nothing in the show that says this is where it's going. It does feel like it is a complete reversal of what it feels like Takatsuki's character was being set up as in the first, like, 9-10 episodes. Like, the vast majority of the series feels at odds with this last turn. You're continuing to grow your hair out, Nitori. I'm looking at this still of Nitori here and being like, I know exactly this point in transition. I'm not ready to take the plunge yet, but I'm doing everything plausibly deniably possible, tiptoeing right up to the line. This was me first year sixth form. Geez, you're so slow, Nitorine. Sooner or later we'll have to face that dreadful period. Forever a wandering sun. Wandering sun's progress. You know young enough, Nitori, that what you want, that you could do something before puberty really has a chance to fuck you up too bad. Like, yeah, you're taller than your sister now, but, like, very little has happened that could not be reversed by puberty blockers and HRT at this point. And I feel like it's gonna be we're not gonna see her take the plunge during the anime. I feel like it's gonna be several years post anime. I'm like, just take the plunge right now, you won't regret it. I have to start over as a woman now. I should have just stayed a man. This is worse than breaking a nail. Okay, so this is the original gender flip play before it became a Romeo and Juliet play. Hmm. Love the period accurate school language. You sound just like a fag. They like my ad-libbing more than your script. know if there's more of your story in the fucking manga. What the hell is your deal? That settles it. Your writing is too stiff. It might be. Your writing might be a bit stiff, but that's because you're afraid to be too open and vulnerable because being open and vulnerable made you, like, a fucking target of ridicule. I understand the stiffness. The first draft was good, but I think this one reads more naturally. I wish I could work on a play. Our class is so... Yeah, but let's talk to the old fogies. Talking to business peeps sounds fun too. Can't believe we have to do a town history exhibit. That's so lame. Do you want to come over sometime? You can invite Takatsuki. I have more dresses now. Again, you don't fundamentally understand the situation here. Inviting Nitori to come over and wear a dress at your house kind of misses the whole point of what's going on here, which is she wants to be a girl all the time, and unless you're gonna stand up and vocally defend her right to, you know, wear the girl's uniform to school, I don't think she wants to come play dress up at yours, in that it's going and doing dress up at yours, but still having to wear the boys' uniform to school, is gonna feel to a degree like, oh, this is a for fun, silly little thing we do over here, but it stays quarantined to over here. Like, if you're not gonna support her rights outside of, you know, silly little dress-up time, like, the fuck does it matter? Don't you want to try them on? What do you think, Takatsuki? We're talking about having a shooting star event. We'll send a star flying around, which our customers can wish on. Hey, what's your deal, kid? If it's not too much trouble, could you help me? With the script. Don't you hate me? I can hate you. I can hate you and still think that your help with the script would be useful. Also, I definitely just lost my... Yeah, there we go. I lost my point. I clicked the wrong place. Yeah, you can hate someone and still think that their help would be useful to your work of art. Yeah. Don't you hate me? Yes, but you're better at writing dialogue. I can acknowledge that while still hating you. You're supposed to say you don't hate me. Well, then you could have been less of a dick and could have been more supportive when I came in the dress, you know. Oh, you guys forming a gay comedy act. Like, the vibe I get from this guy is that he is some variety of closeted queer identity. Like, I don't know whether gay, I don't know whether trans, some sort of, I'm a little self-hating, so I'm gonna project that outward, but, like, I'm pretty good at writing queer dialogue. But, like, don't ever suggest there's a reason for that. Wow, incredible. This one has so many frills. Try it on. I'm guessing you're gonna do so without the wig at this point. Yeah, see, you are, like, you don't... Puberty ain't done a number on you yet. You still got time. I probably should have bought my wig. No, you don't need to. This is the whole point. You've been growing out your hair so that you're not going to need the wig. I have a hairpiece. I'll help you put it on. No, I think your hair is at a great length that you can get away with just how it is. Okay, just fleshing out the back a little. You look so cute. It still feels like she's treating her like, oh, my little dress-up plaything, as opposed to just another girl who exists outside of this room in the context of I get to play dress-up with you. You were always a very special boy to me. I want to read this in the most charitable light possible, which was, you were, you're not now. I recognize that is a past tense. I don't think it's great language, even if that is the reading, but, like, I want to believe that she's crossing the tipping point. You really were special. To me. Because, like, look, a moment like this of, hey, do you want to come around and, like, I've got some outfits you can try on and we'll, like, do your makeup and stuff, could be a really lovely bonding experience if it's in the context of, I see who you are and I want to support that and be a supporter, as opposed to... Because, like, so much of this scene feels like it's more about her getting to dress her up than it is about, like, I'm doing this for you. You get what I mean? Sorry, I was running late. Katsuki, try one on. This feels like it's crossing a boundary, and it feels like it's enforcing femininity onto a character who has been exploring masculine identity the whole series, and this feels pretty fucked up. No way. What are you? Just do it. I said no. Put it on. What's the matter with you? Yeah, Chiba, the fuck are you trying to achieve here? Looks horrible. It only looks strange because you're wearing it on top of your clothes. No, it looks terrible because you don't look comfortable in it. Like, whether Takatsuki's story here is meant to be read as Takatsuki ending up non-binary, which apparently is a reading some people have of the manga, or not ultimately transitioning, or whatever it is, it's very clear Takatsuki is more comfortable presenting in a masculine way. You know, be that growing up to be non-binary, or just mask presenting, or whatever that, road might be. Doesn't sound like it is ultimately becoming a trans man, but it's very clear Takatsuki is not a frilly dresses kind of person. Okay, please. Okay, I was like, please be laughing. I knew I'd look terrible. You should try it on instead. I'm trying to recontextualize Chiba asking, like, try the dress on. Because initially I was like, this feels like it's really crossing a boundary. I guess what Chiba was going for there was... You're acting like you're okay giving up wearing masculine outfits and presenting in a masculine way. You're acting like that's what you want to do. try on one dress and see how weird and awkward it feels, and to go, no, you don't feel like you need to wedge yourself back into a feminine box. That's clearly not you. Let's have a laugh about it. Like, are you trying to be... Maybe Chiba's trying to be supportive there? You aren't exactly back to the way we were. I don't look very good in girls' clothes. Yeah, you do. Boys' clothes are no fun. Need to carry one? No, it's okay. Look, I still want to read this as Takatsuki's a trans man, and hey, look, if your trans man friend offers to carry your bags, trans femmes, even if you're perfectly fine carrying them, say yes, sure. Let them carry your bags. Every trans man I've known who I've had conversations with about this has been like, no. I know I sound like I'm asking, you know, for your benefit, I'm asking for mine. I want to carry the bags and feel like I'm doing the thing. Like, oh, look at me, I'm carrying your bags for you. Look, I'm helping you. I'm looking after you. I'm like, cool. I will say yes if asked. Sure, you can carry my bags. Because you know what? Here's the secret, trans terms. It is kind of nice when someone carries your bags for you. You get to feel like, oh, thank you. I've grown a lot taller. Look, just Nitori, lean into it. Wear like 6-inch platform shoes and be like, nah, I'm Lady Amatresque. I am the tallest woman in the room and you will respect me. Be like, I'm all leg, baby. But with the director, I think they're revising the script. Dio and Nitori, they're working out the kinks. I was having a look at the runtime there. I was like, how long of this do we have? It feels like there's a lot. There's so much still unresolved, it feels like. It's really good. This part kind of drags. Why, this is unusual. Why don't you come back to class? Because literally no one supported me, and... Look, Nitori, you should have gone back. Even that first day where you got locked out of the room, you should have literally just waited in there until the teacher opened it, and you should have gone in. You're not gonna get over any hurdles by not being there. You're gonna build up going back to class. You're gonna build up transitioning in general way more by self-isolating. It makes you seem weirder when you only show up for practice. Yeah. As soon as practices started, that should have been your cue to be back in class. I won't force anything on you, though. I can't tell if he's mean or nice. Neither can I. I don't know if it's the writing or just the fact I'm autistic. I can't tell. There's so many characters in this that the TISM is struggling with what is the unstated non-verbal subtext of what you want. I don't understand your motivations. Okay, you're going back to class. Okay. See, not a big deal. You're only being the director. You should have had a role in the show. You could have your moment of being on stage, being seen in a context that was expected. But I don't think you're going to. I think we're going to get through this episode and no one's going to see you. For you. I already said I'm not going. You can go without me. Why did you come here? This seemed like a fun idea. How can you be a part of this? I'm sure Maho will be thrilled. She won't. How could she be? You wouldn't want to see the person who dumped her brother. You need to treat that as a separate issue. It'd be a different story if you stole her boyfriend. Maiko. Aren't you friends? Didn't Maho, like, say that the two of them needed to break up? I don't think Maho's gonna be, like, bothered by that. I feel like the problem is more that you don't want to see Nitori. You don't want to address... You don't want to have to face the breakup and your feelings around Nitori transitioning. Male Maid Cafe. See, again, for a school that is, like, so casual about, you know, gender flipping, I was gonna say, why did they have such a big problem with Nitori? But again, it comes down to the context. It's fine if it's a silly joke, it's a one-off performance, it's a thing that's sort of imposed on you. It's not okay if it's sincere and you choose it. And that is so much of the attitude around gender exploration. You took a picture? Okay, our class is just doing the exhibit. Okay, yeah, so they can all leave at once. There they are. Oh, it's the Shooting Star Wish exhibit. I feel like I can predict some wishes you might have. Looks weak. You're all here. The Shooting Star event. Repeat your wish 3 times while the shooting star is in the sky. And your wish will be granted. Ah, that sounds awesome. Here comes the shooting star. This wouldn't even fool a child. That's not the point. It's not to fool you. It's to give you a space to verbalize what you want. Make a wish, huh? Please make my voice stop changing, I guess. Please turn me into a girl. Look, this is the thing you can't wish for. You have to make that wish come true yourself. No, that's not right. I want... What was your wish? I need to know your wish. Is the wish for the confidence to be yourself? Do you have a minute? What did you wish for, Nitorine? I wish for the play to be a success. I'm pretty nervous. See, part of me says that is the right wish to make, because wishing to be a girl, wishing for your body to stop changing, those aren't things you wish for and hope that the universe passively does for you. Those are wishes you need to, like, you need to be the one that makes those wishes happen. Those aren't wishes you make to the universe. Of course. Of course. Marco. Say. I'm a horrible person. I don't look very cute and I don't act very cute either. I've been jealous of you from the moment we became friends. It hurts me to stand next to you. Because it made me look even worse. But I honestly do think you're cute. You even act cute, unlike me. So, good luck with the play. That's all I really wanted to say. I don't think this is how the manga's gonna go, but I kind of think they'd make a really cute couple. You are cute, Marco. Yeah, it's true. You're way cuter. You're the two who needed to be here supporting each other. You needed to come into school together, dressed feminine. You needed to be like, no, we're not alone in this. You could have been such good support for each other. Saisho wants to see the oh-so-cute Nichirin. This is awesome. Nobody's noticed I'm a guy. It's perfect. I rule. I'm going home. Oh, I'm going. Welcome. How many in your party? You came. And Anna ran away. Such a waste. Don't you own an expensive wig? Again, hell yeah, Nichiri, don't wear the wig. Rock your hair as it is. Oh. Did you run to come find Nichiri? Are they gonna properly talk this out? Are we finally gonna properly talk through you being trans is a real thing and that scared me, but I do still like you? Don't you need to go back? We still have time. Is that dress for the play? Yeah. You know, I'm sorry about, well, all the mean things I said. It was too much for me to handle. I realized I didn't really understand you. Yeah, up until that moment you still thought it was a fun, silly little thing. You didn't realize this was I want to go down a path that might end up with hormones and surgery at some point. Like, that this is like an actual thing. So, you were my first boyfriend, you know? Past tense. You were my first girlfriend. Someone finally fucking did it. Oh, that's actually so sweet. Because when she said past tense, that is a really well structured sentence. It was, you were my first boyfriend, past tense. Past tense could have meant we're no longer together. You were my first boyfriend in the past, or it could mean you were my first boyfriend. That sentence no longer applies. That sentence is in the past. Someone finally did it. Someone finally acknowledged Nitori as a girl properly in a context. You were my first girlfriend. I was really happy when you asked me out. It was the first time anybody ever did that. Yeah, that's school relationships. Really? But you're so pretty. How can you say that? People have always kept their distance from me. I scared away both boys and girls. Micah was the only one who wasn't intimidated. You were so cool. You might look like this shy boy, but you always speak your mind. I've always seen you as a boy. Even though you looked like a girl, I didn't feel like you were one. But when I heard you went to school in a sailor uniform, I got confused. Yeah, I don't think it's that there was a malicious, I refuse to see you as a girl. Like, it feels like it was a... There was just some part of me that hadn't unpacked. I still have you mentally sorted into the box that I first sorted you into, feels like the vibe. That's why I said those things. I'm sorry. I'm still in love with you. But, well, this is how I am, so it might make you uncomfortable. Yeah, dating a cis person, you have to be open about, like, look, my transness is going to be what it is, and I'm not going to change who I am or what I am for your comfort, and we're just going to have to take each day as it comes in terms of whether you feel uncomfortable with my identity. Without getting too much into specifics, I certainly have some past experience with a cis partner not being as okay with my transness as they thought they were. The fact that Anna has been the first one to say, like, you were my first girlfriend, to me says, I think they're going to, in the future, end up together, even with Nitori being out as a trans woman. Like, I think this is going to end up being a lesbian relationship in the manga. I think Anna saying you were my first girlfriend tells me she's gonna, I don't know if she's gonna stick around, if she's gonna come back, but that she is the first person who has fundamentally made the switch of, I do now realize you are a girl, and any relationship I have with you, have in the future or have had in the past with you, is a relationship with a girl, and that girl is still into me. I don't know if we have time to explore it in this episode, but how can you say that stuff like it's no big deal? Nitori's good. Did you notice? His voice has begun to change. I always thought Nitori was special, different from the other boys. But I was wrong. You know what would have helped? You know what would have helped Nitori's voice not change? Supporting Nitori coming out as trans at school, you know, socially transitioning, in order to then sort of from there start making the steps towards medical transition that might have prevented her voice changing. You know, you could have been supportive if you didn't want Nitori's voice to change. I'm sure that it's just an ordinary boy. Well, in as much as she is a person born to have a testosterone puberty. Whether she does anything to circumvent that or navigate it or fight back against it later, that's her choice, but her body did start with a configuration, much like many people. It's what she's going to choose to do about that later that is going to make the difference. Nitori, don't you realize the play's about to start? Shouldn't you be moving faster? You know, I think Nitori is special. But so are you. Chi, Sasa, Ariga, and Shirai, they're special too. And so am I. Kind of lame to say everyone's special. It's kind of true, though. But that's how you are. Yeah, this is what I thought. We're going to end with the play and we're not really going to see anything further. I'm glad that we got one character before this ended. We had one character truly seeing Nitori as a girl. And I'm kind of glad it was Anna, in some ways. It's kind of sweet. Yeah. Oh. And there we go. I've once again managed to accidentally hit the skip button. Here we go. Okay, we have like 4 minutes. So the fact that the credits music has begun doesn't mean we're instantly over, but I am a girl. Yeah, and there is something really sweet about Nitori's like original play of just I am a girl getting done. And again, this is why I wish Nitori had been able to star in this. If Nitori had been able to be the starring role in the story she wrote in front of this audience and gone, this is not just a story, this is me. And this is why I think it's important that Nitori's wish was for the play to go well, because I think like that is half of. I hope that that all the people who come to see this play, even if I'm not ready to be out, understand my experience better. So when I come out, they'll be like, "Oh, like that play that you did, I get that. I understand you." Ladies and gentlemen, it's a lovely day. What's she doing? Hey, director, can you give me my line again? I don't want to get in trouble, so I won't say anything. Your voice sounds weird. Yeah. But it's okay. Sounds weird, but it's okay. I have a lot of thoughts about this. Watching this the first time, I think ending with Nitori's voice starting to change, I think was part of what kicked me into gear of I need to transition and I need to do it now. I had definitely undergone a bunch of aspects of testosterone-based puberty by the time I watched this, but I was young enough that, like, testosterone was far from finished doing all the things it was going to do. I started puberty later than a lot of people, and it was slower to do its thing than it was for a lot of people. And yeah, my voice had dropped, and, you know, I was growing facial hair, but, like, you know, I wasn't dealing with, like, massively changed bone structure, and, like, I wasn't growing back hair, and, you know, I wasn't, like, growing a full beard and watching my hairline rapidly vanish or anything. Like, I knew that I had time to step in before testosterone went much further in, you know, making me a way I didn't want to be. And, you know, addressing that reality was something that this kicked me into gear with doing. But watching this back like 15 plus years later, there is something really nice about Nitori's relative comfort with the knowledge her voice is changing. And that that's okay, and that that's not undoing her being female, being a woman. It's not undercutting that. As someone who, for the first several years that I was doing work on the internet, I used to, like, manually increase the pitch of my voice in podcast recordings in post, because I was really insecure about my voice as a trans woman, and as an autistic person, I really struggled with voice training, and at a certain point, I went, "Fuck it, my voice is mine. It's in a much more comfortable place than it was. My I'll try and give you a little preview of roughly where my voice used to naturally sit before I transitioned, where I was trying to get it like deliberately low to fit in. Used to sort of sit a lot more, or I got to sort of I'm trying to get it out of head voice and back into chest. Like used to sort of be a voice down here, sort of like this. And now it's this. It is a very different voice, but it is a voice that is not, as necessarily as passing, quote unquote, as some trans women. But like, I am at peace with my voice being what it is, a voice that went through testosterone and dropped, and that I've brought back up to a place that I can comfortably sit with. That it works for me, is nice for me. It's kind of nice to see Nichiri being like, some changes are gonna happen, and that's okay. I'll deal with them, and I'll still be me on the other end. Is pretty nice. Anyway, please enjoy our gender bender play. Is titled "I Am a Girl." Please have Nichiri be the one character on stage. I want Nichiri to be the main character. That's all I want to see to end on. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think that's what's happening, but this is a whole room full of people applauding for a trans story written by a trans girl about being a girl. And that is really sweet. Like, there is something really sweet about this. Are you about to take a step out? Are you the first one on stage? Oh. Oh! She is the first one out on stage. Oh. Sorry. Okay, I see why. Okay, that is actually a really sweet ending. Even if it cuts off before we get to find out her future and, does she ultimately transition and does her life go well? And I can see why I felt the need to go, how does this continue? I need to know where the story goes from here. But it does end on a positive. A trans girl writing a story about being trans, being applauded as she goes to take the first step out on stage to tell her story of her transition, of her as a trans person, how she feels. That is sweeter than I remember that ending being. But I felt like it had to be positive because that's the whole thing. Is I remember watching this show and going, a humanized story of trans identity and a little bit of hope and something that makes me wanna. The feeling I have right now, and I feel like this must have been how I felt at the time, was all I have to do is take that first step into the spotlight and it's going to be okay, and my story can have a positive reception. It's okay. I really thought it was going to end way more ambiguously than it did. It ends, it cuts off before I want it to, but it does end with her taking that first step, metaphorically. Okay, let's go read Wikipedia and see where this continues to, I guess. Oh, okay. It's just the regular credits music. I was just checking there was nothing else. Right. Okay. We'll hop over to Wikipedia. Okay, here we are. Let's look at the plot. Shuichi and Anna start dating, much to the surprise of their friends, and Shuichi's sister Yoshino and Sayori manage to halfway repair their friendship. They're split up into several classes upon entering the second year of junior high. Shuichi becomes friends with Shinpei Doi, who previously teased her about wanting to be a girl. Yoshino attends a school in a boy's uniform for a short time. Shuichi tries to go to school dressed as a girl one day, but is laughed at and they both become discouraged. Shuichi's friends worry as she begins skipping school. Although Shuichi eventually starts attending school regularly again, Anna breaks off their relationship. Okay. By the time Shuichi, Yoshino, and their friends enter their third year in junior high school, okay, yeah, so this is roughly where we are ending the anime. By the time Shuichi, Yoshino, and their friends enter their third year in junior high school, Shuichi's voice is changing, which causes her dysphoria to worsen. The group of friends start thinking about their future high school plans, and Shuichi and Anna start dating again. Okay, so we're talking about before the end of high school, so like still sub 16. So like testosterone isn't going to have done too much terrible. Like there's still relatively young to be transitioning, generally speaking. Shuichi begins attending the same all-boy high school as Makoto and Doi. Our other trans femme lead and former bully, while Yoshino and Sayori begin attending a high school where uniforms are not required. Sayori starts dating Fumiya Ninamiya. Yoshino starts working at Anna's modeling agency, and Shuichi begins working at a cafe but later quits. Okay. Shuichi starts writing a semi-autobiographical novel. Yoshino later tells Shuichi that they no longer wish to be seen as male and have decided to continue living as a girl. I've seen differing interpretations of this. I've seen some people who've said in the YouTube comments that it sort of reads like they end up being non-binary, but the reading here suggests not transitioning. I'll read the manga at some point and see how I end up reading that. They also confess a romantic attraction to Shuichi, and the pair briefly hold hands before saying goodbye. Okay, yeah, this was the time wasn't right when we dated, yeah, sort of as we suspected. Shuichi informs Anna of her true gender identity. I feel like, as far as the anime is concerned, that already happened, but much to her surprise, Anna decides to stay in the relationship with her. That's what I said. Anna's whole, like, you were my first girlfriend told me that's where we were going. After graduating from high school, okay, so we're talking like mid to late teens again, Shuichi moves out and goes to the same college as Doi. Shuichi continues to write the novel, which is given the title The Boy Who's a Girl. Okay, so Nichiri or Shuichi ends up coming out as trans, being in a positive relationship, like a happy out relationship as a trans woman with Anna, and writing a autobiographical story about her transness. That's all I really needed to go. She grows up, she's happy, she's in a relationship, she gets to tell her story and have it be heard and be herself with someone who understands who she is and loves her anyway. Uh, as I say, at some point I will read the manga, and how it handles the sort of follow-up section, but yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this journey. As I say, this anime is not without its problems and its flaws and its confusing character motivations and its things that make it in places a hard recommend. But I see why it was so important to me. I understand why this was the piece of media that I binged in one night and came out as trans that same day. Like, I watched this, I stared at the wall crying for 3 to 5 hours, and then came out as trans that same night. Um, I get it, because in growing up when I did not have anything like this. I didn't have a story that talked explicitly about trans people from a lived experience perspective, where we were not villains or objects of ridicule or evil deceivers. We were just people, and that's all I really needed to feel some hope and some kinship and to have some language for what I was experiencing, and to know that I didn't want to frustratingly not do anything about it. I wanted to see my future, even if it meant facing rejection and conflict. Thank you, everyone who's joined me on revisiting this. As I say, there might be a 13th video in this series at some point when I come back and revisit the manga, but until then, thank you very much. Goodbye.